And now, from Grid Square Echo Mike 48, this is 100 Watts and a Wire.
Well, hello, friends, and welcome to episode number 407. It's Christian again, pulling off one of the 100 Watts and a Wire dailies. It is the 4th of July, 2023, and it is good to be here with you. A lot of testing this week. I moved to Florida on Sunday, June 20-something. And it's July 4th, my first July as a Floridian. I haven't got my license changed over quite yet. It's come at a weird time with the holiday being here on a Tuesday. So I may go over and take care of that tomorrow. We'll see. Been doing a big push to get the studio set back up so I can kind of do what I do. Whether I'm doing it for myself or doing it for other people, we need to be up so we can do. I don't have my lighting sorted out, and I want to go with a very clean studio look for potential live streaming. So this video, although it is being recorded audio and video probably won't make it up to the 100 Watts and a Wire YouTube channel because I'm wearing a t-shirt. I think I have pants on. These may technically qualify for pajama bottoms. Did I mention it was the 4th of July? Okay. Well, I wanted to check in today to talk a little bit about my antenna situation. I've got what they call in this rental property a double lot, which gives me some interesting options overall, but I mentioned in episode 406 that I do have neighbors on all sides. What's cool about this is it's not a development. There's no HOA. It was established early on by earlier Floridians. And so the houses are different. I think the Amish made some of the houses back in the day. This one, I'm told, was not made by the Amish. But the yard itself is bigger than most spaces. That said, there's a lot of trees, a lot of coverage. Trees are technically good in my book, but I've got what they call a banyan tree. Beautiful, majestic, and it hangs over into the yard, which you'll find comes into play as I start to deal with my antennas. I meant to mention yesterday that I'm serving northeast. No. See, I've done it again. Northwest, and southeast. Broadside of my antenna. And I'm using this banyan tree to support maybe about 35 feet. Underneath is a lot of these ferns that are grown up, and I'm trying not to lay in. I've got one of these measuring devices that are like a digital, shoots out a laser. And when I was back in Missouri, I would lay on the ground, ants, bugs, spiders, whatever, just to get kind of an accurate reading. You know, how high the antenna is. This one I know is about 33 some feet. I don't know. And initially, I put up a off-center fed dipole, 4-to-1, Ballon, probably 66 feet long. I used it for portable. I used wire that was coated in insulation that is red. I think I got it from Granger. And when you're out in the woods like I was in Missouri, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It could be powder blue, which works against the sky sometimes well. I find black is the best. Here it's kind of dense. I do have the neighbors. I put this off-center fed up and I was like, ugh. It was performing fine. I wanted the idea of having 20 and 40, which are probably my most popular bands, meaning that's where I kind of hang out. If I go portable, that's what I'm looking to do. Here in this house, in this neighborhood, with some limited space and limited options with regard to the trees I'm dealing with, I thought 40 and 20. Now, I do have a rope that goes back to a fence that separates this property from a neighbor's. I don't know who owns the fence, who put it in. I'm on this side of the fence. I put a little eye hook in it. Nah, that's how I'm tying off. I'm using another tree to tie off the short end. Well, I got to thinking that red, it kind of stands out. Now, not that anybody would say anything, and nobody has, but I want to be a good neighbor. I don't want to be the dick who moved in and started putting up strange things across the trees. And you know what? I've heard about the ordinances in Sarasota with regard to trees. They don't like you taking them down. They don't like you doing stuff. And I just thought, well, you know what? I'm trying to be low-key, stealthy, if you will. The only thing you can really see, though, is my feed line. It's 213 coax. And if you were looking in the yard, you might see it hanging there above the fern patch. But mind your damn business. Now the ends, the elements, it's 14 gauge wire. My rope, I specifically went with a paracord that's black, not too thick. So basically, you're only going to see, unless you're really, really looking, you may see that 213 feed line going up to the antenna about 30-some feet. Now, people have swings hanging. There's swings hanging in my yard. People got all kind of stuff. There's moss hanging from trees. There's vines. People here comes a fella. He doesn't live there. It's an empty lot. He's got a little bucket, and he's picking up mangoes from, I would say, my neighbor's yard. It's owned by a lady who doesn't live here full time, and it's empty, and it has a mango tree, which is dropping now. And people in the neighborhood walk, and they come by and pick up mangoes. Now, if he's interested in looking into my studio window, he's going to see a bald Polish guy in a white T-shirt on the 4th of July talking about antennas. Don't look in my yard, old man. Pick up the mango and move on. I'm an East Coast kid, but a little further north. Don't take too many. Actually, it's encouraged to take these mangoes because they go to waste. The squirrels get their share, whatever else is around here. I think probably raccoons and lots of birds. And the neighbors will stop in. And it's encouraged, take those mangoes, eat them, and they are delicious. They may not be the best, but the trees, this one is not really being cared for. If it was given the fertilizer, if it was pruned properly, it would be giving off like, stuff like that. Be that as it may, it's still delicious and a gift from nature, and it is free. Anywho, the only thing you can see of this antenna really is the feed line, and that's if you're looking, and if you're kind of being a little too nosy, maybe you wouldn't even think anything of it. But I had to take down this red wire. I just thought that would hit the light in certain times of day. It is the sunshine state, right? And I thought, well, I don't want to have red wire. I took it down and ended up putting up a 40 meter mono band W7 UDI build for a double bazooka, also known as a coaxial dipole. And it performed quite well. It was, I think, 1 to 9, dipped down to 1 to 7. It's fine. Touch it up with tuner inside the 7300 or the 7310. Just fine. No problem. But then I was thinking, I do want more than one band. So I took I had a $20 bill sitting here. And I'm not spending any money. You may have heard, if you're catching up on the podcast, I lost my gig in June. My wife got a job, a good job here in Sarasota, and your boy is still looking for work. So I'm not spending any money, and certainly not spending money because I'm figuring it out. But I did take this $20 bill that was hiding in my pocket to get 75 feet of 14 gauge wire. And DX Engineering sent it to me, jababoom. And it came yesterday. I thought they were going to have a longer weekend. It did come yesterday. And I built that antenna with that same 4-to-1 balun I mentioned earlier with red wire. That balun was made by Radio Waves Emmett, our friend back in Missouri, who incidentally contacted me and said he's working on a vertical and he would like me to try it. And we'll see in a couple weeks. We'll see. He says it does 80 through something. I don't know if it's 80 through 6 or 10, but, vertical, I'll try it out, man. I'll try anything here. Again, I'm used to dealing with the homestead back in Missouri. I didn't have neighbors. I didn't have noise. I could do and clear what I needed to clear to put 8 antennas up, and I did. I did it. Here, somebody else owns this house. They own that property, and I've got neighbors. I'm trying to be cool. I built this 40 meter. It does 40, 20, and it probably will do 10. I need to check 10. I'm not even sure I've ever made a contact on 10. I'd prefer like 15, 17. I love a 15 and 17 meter antenna. I'd like that. 6 seems sexy. 10, I don't know. But look, I want all I can get out of the space I have. And I'm happy to report that this antenna, if I have my notes nearby, let's see, it's 1 to 5 on 40 meters, basically across the board. And on 20, it starts out at 1.5 at the low end, and you get up to 14,350. I start to tick up a little bit to 1.9, which isn't horrible. Pretty good right out of the box, I thought. So that's the antenna situation we're working with today. I have been playing a little bit with 13 colonies, and maybe perhaps if I do another podcast tomorrow and start to get this daily rolling, we'll talk about that more and see how you did. I want to let you know that your support of this podcast and this community is welcomed always. Go to buymeacoffee.com/100watts. Look around at the different levels. The popular one is a dipole level, $4 a month. If you get, say, $1 worth of entertainment and value out of each podcast, $4 a month, it helps to sustain, pay for the peripherals and the things associated with it. I would go daily and maybe create a 50 cents or 10 cents an episode. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. Trying to do the work that I need to do to make a living. And doing something you love would be ideal. Shout out to Don. Oh, let's see if I get that call sign right. KC0DWZ sent me Peter Gabriel's Salisbury Hill. Probably the first song I played when I landed at WMMR in Philadelphia, and now it has a different meaning. I encourage you to join the Discord group. We have a music appreciation channel. We drop different things in there, and that one right now is resonating with me, and he recognized that and posted it. Appreciate that, Don. Don's a net control operator. Sunday nights, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. You can check into the 100 watts and wire Sunday evening net. I encourage that, and I will try. Conditions were so poor this past Sunday, net control operators decided they'd go and do something else because it was a little nutty. Speaking of sponsorship, if you're looking for a power solution, check out Bioenno Power, offering the best lithium phosphate batteries for your ham radios. That's BIOENNO power.com. Thanks to our friends who continue to support us every month. I appreciate that. We continue on the job hunt, but wouldn't it be fun to be together? I should have live streamed this, but I don't really know. I don't know where this all will go. I'm starting over and shaking free of the machine, the system, And so I've got one foot into going and doing my own thing, helping people build and create their own podcasts and their own shows through a very small boutique company I started called Radio Core. It's Radio Core, CORPS.com. If you or your business are looking to begin a podcast, it's a $2 billion industry. It will go up to $4 billion next year, 2024. Why shouldn't you share your story and your expertise? When you need help, call me, radiocore.com. That's the antenna situation from Sarasota, Florida. I just wanted to check in and let you know that it's doing well. I put it up there. I got $20 worth of wire. And just like that, we're underway. And I think we're jet black with the paracord, with the wire. And I had already spray painted the balun. For some reason, I thought anybody in the country, but I don't know, man. Look, I'm a bit of a preparedness guy. I don't really, you're not supposed to tell people what you have and what you do and how much rations you got and how much ammunition. You kind of keep all that sort of stuff under your own hat. And maybe a little bit of this trickles into my radio work. I really don't want to be a nuisance. I don't want to be seen up in the trees. I do, however, want to help my community in times of need. And look, here we are in Florida, where hurricanes are a thing, and it is different from where I come from. At least where I've come from last, where we dealt with tornadoes in St. Louis and above north. At least with hurricanes, you can see them coming, and that's what we talked about with a neighbor the other night. You kind of know they're coming. You've got a little bit of time to get out and prepare. Take what you need or hunker down. Have what you need. And I think radio is a big part of that. So if the S hit the F with the neighbors, I would say, look, man, I'm here to help you. Should our communications drop, and they could, cell phone towers could go out, power could go out. If we need to get message relayed through, I'm here. I know how to do it. That's why I have an antenna in the tree. Otherwise, if they don't see it, they don't know, they don't ask, it doesn't matter. I'm still here, right? I'm still here to help. And it's a good topic if we do a daily. Let me know how you feel about this daily. I don't know how you feel about it. Would you listen to the words daily? I'd certainly give them to you, but it's going to take a little bit of, and I can do it as I'm looking for work here. I'm doing it on a holiday. I'd love to do it and do it every day. It would be the first amateur radio podcast or live show. I would do like a morning show for ham radio. Bring you in, take calls, but it's limited sponsorship out there right now. Thank goodness for BioNO Power and Kevin over there, who's believed in us for several years. Sometimes they come and go. It's like Power Film Solar and Gigaparts. They tested the waters. Now they're reevaluating and deciding if it's something they want to do again. That's kind of the nature of the business. If we want to do this together, it kind of takes our community to be community supported. Think about the community-supported radio you listen to, right? The independence of the corporations. You got different people playing different music. You got different programs. Why can't we do that? Well, it's going to require that our listeners consider donating $1 an episode. $4 a month helps put us in a position to do just that. Think about it, friends. Do you get value? If you do, go to buymeacoffee.com/100watts. Think about it. I also want to know what you're struggling with. What do you want to hear about? Who do you want to hear from? For me, I'm going through a whole new culture here. I'm going through it's back to 100 watts and a wire for your boy. And in my heart, it feels good. It feels good to kind of start over. I didn't get complacent. I built up a great system in Missouri, 8 antennas, amplifier running, 1,000 watts. Great antenna systems, tinkering and had the space to do it. Here, most people live like I'm living right now, or in situations where they're in HOAs, land restrictions, apartments. I'm sympathizing and I'm empathizing with you guys more now because I'm one of you. I'm on both sides. This is how I started. So look, I may be running 88, 90, 96 watts out through this off-center fed antenna. Share your stories with me, friends. Drop me a line, Christian@100wattsinawire.com. You can also find me on Discord and several others. It's a small group, but friendly. You're welcome there. We're also on Facebook and YouTube. Enjoy your 4th of July. I appreciate you as always. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you listening and giving a shit, really. You know, people who checked in, you know who you are. And some of us have been through some things. And there are many friends now who I've made in ham radio who have been through what I'm going through now. Whether it's a transition in your life, transition in your move, relocation, job, loss of job, needing a new job, taking care of your family, thinking about the future, thinking way too much, just trying, right? So I've seen this happen in other people's lives. Now it's happening in mine. And I want to say thank you to those who continue to support, and even if it's not a financial support, like we've talked about with the show and sponsorship, etc. The friend support, the unit, the community, reaching out and saying, hang in there. I'm not requesting it. I don't expect it. I just appreciate it. Stay safe. Remember to throw the firework and not the match on the 4th of July. Be safe. It's so dry here in Florida. I'm hoping we don't have any sort of fire things. And wherever you are, be safe. And like the man on the radio said earlier this week, if you do happen to blow your fingers and hands off, make sure you've got a foot switch, a foot pedal, so you can still make contacts. It's mostly just a joke, but seriously, there's a public service announcement in there. 7-3, my friends, take care of yourselves, and by all means, if you can, please try and stay above the noise.
To join the 100 Watts in a Wire community, visit 100wattsinawire.com.